Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Reactive Entrepreneur Podcast. It's been a minute, and we're super excited. This is going to be our first in-person podcast, which is pretty cool. And on this show, we're pretty much talking about how we have used coding, programming, and basically combined that with the business world to transform our everyday life. And we're going to be bringing on guests, all that good stuff. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start the show. What's up, Jay? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Jay, this is fun, man.
I love the mics.
Yeah.
I love this whole setup.
This is the first time we've done an audio podcast before, but now we thought, let's just try something. Visual podcasts are a lot more sort of our thing. They're a lot more fun. So introduce yourself, Jay. Everyone should know you by now, but yeah.
I think I was there in one of the videos on eBay.
Yeah.
Challenge, the last day.
Oh, yeah.
Day 5, I was there. So
I mean, you've been in the vlogs, so
yeah,
people know
I've
who
been
you
in the
are.
vlogs as well.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
Being on a podcast, on a video. Because we've done 3 podcasts, I think 2 or 3 on Reactive Entrepreneur, which are not video.
Yeah.
And now this one's a video, and it's a whole different experience.
Yeah. I kind of wish now, looking back, that we actually captured the video of the Zoom calls, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a whole different thing, like actually talking in person like this. And it's a great thing for people to see how we work, kind of connect on that level.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree.
Yeah.
I really agree.
Sick. So like last time we spoke on podcasts, so much changed, right? Like
2023 has been a big year of wins for you.
For us.
Us as a company and everything.
Yeah.
In personal and company wise. So
huge. I think
tons to unpack.
Let's start dissecting, right? So we had goals, and we're pretty aggressive with our goals. So one of our main goals was pretty much always going to be YouTube, center around. That's literally our thing. Like that's what fuels everything around us. Well, it's got us to the point where we're at. Yeah. So the first one we kind of had was double the subscribers, right? Like we had a chat when we did the 100,000.
Crazy.
And now
it's 200 plus. Yeah.
It's like 211 or 213, something like that. But yeah, let's talk about it. So like that journey in itself, how was it, Jay?
When we started off, it was at 15 and 17,000.
Yeah.
It was stuck there for quite a while. I'm like, okay, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You just have faith. Yeah. Keep your trust.
Are you talking post 100K or before?
Before.
Okay, yeah.
At the very start. When we had our first videos out with LinkedIn clones, Gmail clones, which you can still see now.
Yeah.
And it was like 17, 20. Yeah. And it's stuck there.
Yeah.
And then it's moving slowly. And then it just started boosting. Yeah. 50, 75, 100. 200
Crazy.
Now.
I think in the beginning we had like a rocket trajectory. It absolutely exploded up until 50K.
Agreed.
And then the growth was pretty steady up until 100. Then it was like a milestone. That was crazy. Like hitting 100K was just unreal for us. And then that growth was just like, it was a steady kind of, grow all the way up until 200K.
Not only that growth, but even the videos are blowing up.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually nuts.
Like the ChatGPT one now, currently at least is at 35,000 views.
Yeah.
That was just, how many days ago we did that video?
Yeah. And just to put into perspective, like when we did the vlog, so after we did a video on GPT when it was obviously booming, that was the big thing. We decided like, I went ahead and, bought, this was another win. I bought a watch, like a Rolex. Yeah. And that was a big win for us because this is like unheard of from the story we came from, right? Absolutely. And then when we actually released that, and there's a clip in that video where we're like, that video just hit 500,000 views. And now it's at 850,000, which is just like a few days went by and it grew like nearly 500,000. That's insane. Yeah.
And the thing is we never know if they blow up or not, but we always just keep faith and trust that, put the content out there. Yeah. It'll help someone eventually.
That's it.
Not always about the views.
Yeah. I think we constantly remind each other of that. Like, I think Jay does more reminding of that to me. I get obsessed.
Staying grounded.
Yeah. I honestly can get obsessed with the numbers and I'm like, why aren't we at 100,000 for this video? Why aren't we at 200, 300? And I've just realized like, just forget that. It's not the way to do it. Yeah. Like, because it's so easy as a YouTuber to get, consumed by that and it just takes over everything.
Yeah. It takes your mental health.
Yeah. It's horrible. Yeah.
It's stressful.
Yeah. But it's kind of a stress it's one of those things like fear, right? Like sometimes you build up this thing so big in your head and when you actually come to do it, like the podcast, right? Yeah. It's just like, this is actually kind of fun, Yeah. So,
you've been used to this. I'm not used to this.
Yeah, but it's fun though. Yeah.
Podcast.
Like hearing yourself talking. Yeah.
Yeah, because this you do on live anyway.
Yeah.
With the headphones and stuff.
Yeah.
For me, it's a new experience. The mic's so crystal clear, my voice sounds so different.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to sound on video, but...
It's literally identical. So it'll be like, it's a great experience listening to it. But it's so fun because now everyone can see us. And they get to see our friendship. Because me and Jay, honestly, our working situation is it's just fun. Every day it's just like fun. We're like, okay, we have a few sponsors we work with. We have our goals for what we want to teach.
Yeah.
And nothing will stray us. Like, we're very like set on protecting the brand in the sense where, yes, like in the end of the day, it's a YouTube channel, but we need to survive. Like, we need to pay for things. Like, so you can't just assume that, we're going to give the whole world everything for free. So there has to be a balance, right? So we get like, the ad revenues, sponsorships, all that kind of stuff. And we have our course, but there's a fine line between crossing over and losing what you stand for, right? And where would you say we stand right now in that? Just because I would be biased and I say that we're fully protecting it and everything, but where are we at?
No, I'd say not fully, but we are there.
Yeah.
It's just pretty good.
Go on.
Go on.
No, as in basically, like,
you put me in a spot.
Yeah. I think we're pretty good. I think in the sense where we don't ever let a brand take our channel in a direction that we don't like.
No, the thing is, we see what the value the brand can bring.
Yeah.
Right. And we just always look at in the audience perspective, like, okay, they're gonna learn something from this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. Like, that's what we look for.
Yeah.
Like, okay, are they gonna learn something new?
Yeah.
Yes. Are they gonna learn some cutting edge technology? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Let's go with that. We just don't do it just because the paycheck's on the table. Like,
exactly.
I'm just saying straight.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so
we just
true.
don't do it because we had offers that pay more, but we decided to go with the lesser paying ones just because they were better in terms of value, in terms of, the brand reputation in itself and so many other things.
Yeah.
In that matter.
And I think that's a core factor which has led to us getting better, like, kind of partnerships. Because in the end of the day, and we've actually grounded ourselves recently because now we've gone back to our roots, which is just dropping pure content with no sponsors, nothing associated with it. Yeah. Like the JavaScript lessons. We're just putting things out there because our main thing is just to help developers get into the world. That's it. Because both of us hate the way it's taught in university, all that kind of stuff. It's just like, it's fake. It's you learn all this stuff, you go into the real world and it's like, okay, where's your experience at?
What do I do now?
Yeah, it's like, and both of us faced that. Like, we thought, masters will get us everything.
We did bachelors, we did masters, top in it all.
We did first class, everything.
Sonny topped in more than me, but
nah.
Sonny was the university guru, if I might say so.
No, we were the two geeks in the class, but we didn't know that each other were the geeks.
No, Sonny wasn't a geek. Geek is different. Geek is like you're sitting there studying all day.
Yeah.
Like, you used to go out and even study and stuff, but you were quite a charismatic character.
Yeah, a bit too much.
A bit too much exposure.
Yeah, it helps having a friend to ground you. Like, Jay would literally be like, no, get the slides done. Yeah. So that helped out a lot. So our first kind of target was YouTube, right? We smashed that, which we were really happy about. And again, I don't even think we say we smashed that. We're still on a And our goal is very clear. It's 1 million subscribers because we want to hit 1 million developers, which I honestly think we have at this point, but it's just a cool number. Honestly, at this point, 1 million subscribers is amazing to have. And
we even launched University of Code.
Yeah. So University of Code, what is that, Jay?
So for those who don't know, University of Code is our daily coding problem companion sort of SaaS product, which is basically you sign up and you get a coding problem every day in your inbox, and you get the solutions the next day.
Okay.
That's a genius part about it the next day because you are forced to work on that problem and try to find the answer online, or however it may be. You at least try to solve it other than just looking at the solution and be like, okay, fine, that's how you do it. All right. And then you forget about it, how to do it.
Yeah.
So in this way, you're learning. Even if you don't solve it, you're still learning because you're doing your research, because we provide relevant links for that problem as well to help you out. So we literally like spoon feed you, like, here you go. Here's a problem. Here are the links.
Exactly.
All you have to do is just learn how to do it. And if you do it, great. And that's every day. And except the weekends, of course. But this really helps out in the way that it keeps you accountable every day. Yeah. To just learn something. You could take like 5 or 10 minutes of your day, but you just learn something that could help you in your bigger projects.
And that really has a massive effect. We both found that, like, because we do it without realizing. Every day we're challenging ourselves with something new, whether it's a tech stack, whether it's something we're trying to build, whether it's a better way to manage our students in our course, like whatever it is, we're trying to challenge ourselves daily. So we thought, how can we actually help students or like developers, anyone doing this stuff? It's cool to watch a video, But let's be real, a lot of people watch a video,
but they don't implement.
Yeah, they don't implement it, and then they're like, "This is really cool, I love it," and that's great. Like it's a fire starter. But afterwards, we need a way for them to practice it. So that was a great opportunity for us. And we saw, how can we, like, it was a perfect way to deliver, challenges every day. Think of it like a daily Sudoku puzzle.
Yeah.
Right? Like you come on, solve something. It should be very quick and fun, but we tell you beginner, intermediate, advanced. And we don't like bullshit either.
It gets harder throughout the week. So at the start of the week, it's easy.
Yeah.
Because you're getting into the week, you're sluggish. You're like, it's
you
Monday
mean
again.
in like the challenge level?
The difficulty level,
Yeah.
So you're sluggish at the start of the week, and then you want to start off with something difficult. And then you have the whole weekend on a Friday after that to solve the difficult ones.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's like extreme level.
Yeah. And it was so good that even like we got to a point where we set up a structure. So even like in the beginning, we were kind of doing the challenges together. Then we basically found a way to enhance it. So I don't have to constantly be there with Jay figuring out what challenges are next. And now it's got to a point where even I will do the challenges. And I'm like, I was scratching my head like, this is a pretty good challenge. I don't know how to do this.
And we basically launched UOC in the sense that we just wanted to bridge a gap sometimes for some people where they would just hop into Zero Full Stack Hero and not know, like, okay, I don't even know like anything like ABC. Obviously, you can still hop in and learn from there, but this would be like a stepping stone to Zero Full Stack Hero.
Exactly.
Do you agree with that? Or
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like, as in you're starting from beginner, then you're getting exposure to intermediate, advanced stuff. And then naturally, you might be wanting to, collaborate with others.
Yeah.
And the whole reason for Zero to Full Stack Hero is a community of developers.
Yeah.
And it has all of our course content modules that help you become an amazing developer.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of like your entry to that because you also get a community access with UOC.
Yeah.
And that helps, the whole thing kind of thrive.
Yeah.
But it's
I think you
sick.
start off with YouTube, see the free content there, like more. Want to jump straight to the high level, go to Zero Full Stack Hero.
Yeah.
You just want to see how it's like. You can start UOC. And
exactly. And we found that obviously Zero to Full Stack Hero could be considered a jump. So our goal was free. Like in the beginning, YouTube is free. Like, and I want to stress that because if sometimes we get comments and it's just like, obviously we're pretty good at, ignoring the negativity, but it's just like, there's so much free stuff on the channel. Like you could literally, and I will say, you could go from zero to becoming an amazing developer just with the free content on the channel.
And you can have such an amazing digital portfolio with all your projects on there. And oh my God, like.
And I think we can say that's our proudest achievement. Yeah. Like we managed to conquer that in the sense where I feel like we really do have high quality stuff. And that because we've seen people send us endless messages, whether it's email, Instagram DMs, YouTube comments, where they're like, I got a job, it's bloody amazing. And it's, every time we screenshot it, we talk about it, and it's a win for us, for everything. Every
time we go live, there's so many comments that say, I've got a job here, I've got there, I've got there.
Nuts.
And it's real, guys. It's real. It's not like just people just saying it for the sake of it. They're actually getting jobs, and we have seen it happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
We have seen that happen. That's the biggest impact for us. Like, oh my God, we don't realize how big of an impact that is.
Yeah. Exactly. Because it's like, in the end of the day, it's a number on a screen sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's really bad to say, but it's the truth. Like, after a while, it becomes a subscriber count. And then I think the moment that bubble popped in my head is when we started getting spotted in public.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jay got spotted in Abu Dhabi World, which is nuts, man. At one point, you're getting spotted more than me.
I'm getting spotted more than you, actually. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I think it's because some people just want to watch the vlogs and then they see both of us. I don't know.
It's just cool. It's amazing.
Like, but you got spotted twice.
I have, yeah. I think about 4 times now I've been spotted. Like, and one was on a walk randomly, and I couldn't believe the guy spotted me. It was dark as well. And it's just mind blowing. That's when it really puts it into perspective that that's a person at the end of that subscriber count.
I swear.
And that's a real living human being. And the way he was explaining how his life changed, it was like, he was like, am I taking your time? I'm like, dude, I will sit here with an hour with you and just talk because it's incredible, Like,
because when I started, like we started this whole thing, I told you, if you don't remember, that I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna be on camera.
Yeah. I remember.
I'm just gonna be.
I had a plan. Back. I knew. I was like, I'm gonna get Jay on camera somehow. And here we are.
I swear, I would never. If you told me at the start, like you're gonna be on a vlog, you're gonna be on a podcast video, I'm like, no, I'm good, man. I'm just gonna be on the back.
I remember you said to me, you're like, Sonny, I don't mind being in the back. And help you set things up.
Help you set. I'll do everything there if I'm not on camera.
Like,
you're the face. You're the everything on the front, like. And then now here we are.
I had a plan the whole time. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get him on the podcast. Then the vlogs were like an entryway.
Yeah, the vlogs were an entryway.
Exactly.
But even still now in the vlogs, I try to avoid being on camera as much as possible.
Nah, but it's cool. I think people like to see our dynamic. They like to see the way the team works. And it's, in the end of the day, it's not just me behind the whole company. It's us. We've got a team of developers. We do software agency stuff. Like it's a busy sort of setup. So yeah, so that's a bit on our setup. And if anyone is interested in, learning about our course or any of that stuff, they can find it all at papareact.com. So they can go over there, pretty much find all the links in the description. Everything is there. So yeah, if you want to know more about whether it's Zero to Stack Hero, UOC, definitely give it a read, check it out. But remember, all the stuff's free, like on YouTube. Yeah. So there's no pressure. It's just if you want to accelerate your growth and you want to, for example, get on a chat with me or even with you in any coaching call or something, that's where you can do it. Absolutely. And that's a great place. And that's the accessible way that we found we can sustain that.
Yeah. Let's talk about how we worked with some big companies.
Oh yeah. So this is a big win as well. I don't, you know what? This wasn't even part of the goals. Like we at one point, we didn't even know we were doing any sponsorships or any partnerships or anything. It was just a thing that came in as we got bigger. And we were like, hang on, this is actually pretty cool. We get to work with these companies that we used to look up to. We look up to, I mean. So like, let's talk about some. So yeah, who was our biggest recently, Jay?
The biggest cloud service, Microsoft Azure.
Yeah. The Microsoft was crazy. I think you're the one that told me on email. You found the email, messaged me saying, and then you had the first call with them.
Yeah, I had the first call with them. It was nerve-wracking, but I'm used to it.
So let's break it down. So how does a company like Microsoft reach out to YouTubers?
No, it was just an email from. It was actually a third party, but they reach out through third parties. They don't reach out directly to you. So Microsoft Azure doesn't say at Microsoft.com or something, the domain. It's a third party that reach out to you, and they're pretty cool people. They're very connected with Azure, and they were
so chill on.
They were so chill on the call.
Yeah. Like it was literally it's like a group of friends having a chat.
I was talking to a lady, and then she had a dog around, and she was feeding the dog as well. And I was just chatting to her. I'm like, oh my god, is this real? Oh, I have to keep my composure.
Yeah.
And it was lovely talking with her, and it's just so easy. Like you just don't know it's Microsoft. Like oh my god, it's like the Goliath of.
I remember we got off that call and we just looked at each other like, oh my god, we just hit a level, and we just unlocked something that we didn't think was possible.
Absolutely.
And then now that's just like kind of become like, I wouldn't say a normal, because that effect still carries on us. Like any company that we work with, we're always grateful. Yeah. But even recently, a company that we work with called StepZen, they got acquired by IBM, which was huge.
Exactly.
And I personally, I remember getting an email from the CEO, and I showed Jay, and I was like, "What? That is crazy!" Like, you know?
Oh yeah, the CEO straight up messaged you.
Yeah, straight up emailed, and he was just like, "I love what you're doing. I hope we can work together for a long time." And then I remember seeing the acquisition, and I saw him chatting on, like, when they were talking about it in an interview. And I was like, oh my God, that guy emailed me.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah. And then I remember I just sent him an email congratulating him. He was like, oh my God, like, this is incredible. Like, like, yes, of course, we're going to carry on working with you. So now we're technically working with IBM and Microsoft, which is,
oh my God,
it's crazy. Yeah.
Facebook, Google, hit us up.
Yeah, hit us up. Like, if you want something, slide in. But it's nuts, and I think that's what we thrive on, is just a constant challenge. Like, we're not questioning, like, we just see cool stuff. Like, Microsoft has amazing tech behind it.
Yeah.
Even with they're big investors of GPT, we just see it. We're like, okay, like, doesn't matter about the hill that we have to climb to learn the tech, use the tech, demonstrate the tech. We actually don't even think about that, believe it or not. We just see, is there an opportunity to bring value, like you said? And then from that, we will find a way to do it. And that's what I think everyone should really take that mindset, because that's taken us to where we're at right now.
Absolutely. Like that's the mindset that can get clouded by other things, like, oh shit, the money's not coming in. Or, oh, this is not happening, or that's not happening. But the true value comes from you realizing that you're giving out value. Yeah.
And the minute we focused on purely that, I think all of our businesses that we're in now just started spiraling out of control, because we stopped checking. If you notice, we stopped checking as much, like, a lot of the metrics. Like, as in, we are very, like, keen on 8 KPIs. Like, we like to know where we're at. In fact, it's kind of obsessive at times, but we don't, like, it's not the same it's not the same as it was in the beginning.
Yeah, we're not as obsessive as before now.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Like now it's not really a case of like, okay, are we going to survive? And
No.
Now it's like, no.
How do we improve?
Yeah. And we can say no. Like if we don't want to work with someone, we just say no. Like we're really busy. We don't want to do it. And it doesn't fit our brand. Or, like we've had that a lot of the time. We get loads of people who want me to add them on Telegram or some dodgy link.
There are lots of dodgy links, but even there are lots of people who are legit and they want to push on YouTube, but we just don't have the capacity or they don't provide enough value for our audience, I feel.
Yeah, and we're protective, I think, of the audience now, 100%.
Because our PAPAFAM community, right? It's really like.
Yeah,
like
it's a family, man.
It's family, and it feels like everybody knows each other.
Yeah, it does.
And everybody supports each other.
Yeah. And I'm so proud. I think that's our biggest win beyond everything is the community that we built. Because we said from the get-go, even when we had like, the first bunch of subscribers, we were like, we are going to make the biggest family of developers, period. That's the mission. And around that, everything else can grow. And I think we're doing a pretty damn good job so far. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think the viewers would agree.
Yeah, I think so. So if you agree, just
drop in the
comment. Wherever you're watching. Yeah. Or just follow. Follow the podcast if you're listening on Spotify. Any of that stuff. So it's crazy, man.
And we can get future guests as well.
Yeah. We're definitely gonna be getting future guests, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's been a huge win. The next kind of thing we did, which was pretty massive on the list of things I wanted to do, was the property, right? Like, because I said this to Jay, I was like, Jay, 23, we've got these goals in front of us. And like,
so what pushed you for the whole sort of property buying? Because this is a big step, man. It's not something that you just wake up in the morning and be like, I'm gonna buy a property now. Yeah.
I think, what it is? I think this goes to what we were talking about before. It kind of interlinks to that in the sense where I think, and Jay will agree, like I obsess over security now. And I say that in the financial sense. So I don't ever like to be in a situation where I'm concerned or I'm thinking that cash flow is not positive, and the reason for that, it comes from the beginning, right? Literally, like a lot of people who might have listened to our podcast before will know, that it was literally started from nothing. Like I was literally at one point even borrowed money from Jay.
It was minus.
I was minus. And I literally came to you and I was like, Jay, I hate to ask, but I am in a situation right now. And this was like back at uni. And I was like, Jay, and Jay never even hesitated. Like, sure, take double. Like, gave me extra. And I just, now we've built up to a point, and I got rejected for like a laptop financing, all these things, like they stay with you for a long time. And it's just like, and I knew that was a limiting factor. I was like, okay, but I'm not gonna let it stop me. But now that we're sort of, we're growing, I want to set roots to just protect the sort of foundation that we built. And a lot of that was asset building. So whether it's property, whether it's stock, shares, crypto, I'm a big investor in crypto, stocks, and shares.
And gold.
Yeah, and gold recently. Yesterday I did the most Dubai thing you could do. We bought gold bars, which is pretty cool.
I mean, it's still an investment.
It's an investment, and it hedges pretty well against inflation. But we pray, and even the watch was an investment piece. So it was a way of moving, cash into this, because cash is a losing factor. It's losing value in inflation. So now the next natural step was I didn't have a property, and I'm living in Dubai, and Dubai rent prices are soaring. Like, firsthand, like since being here for a year, like the price. And I remember the landlord, it wasn't the greatest landlord. Oh my God, we had some situations there.
Most of the landlords are not great here. It's just so disconnected. With the real issues.
And in the end of the day, like I guess like they're looking at, what they're trying to yield from that investment and so forth. But in the end of the day, you have to remember someone's living in that property. And that's, like they're a human being. And it gets to a point where it just got very frustrating. And I was like, I don't feel like paying this guy another year's rent. Right. And it was like, in the beginning I had to, like, cause that was my setup. But we got to a point where we grew. And I was like, okay, we're in a position where I think I can maybe make a jump.
Okay.
And the fear, remember that? Like I think I had about 2 or 3 weeks of really downpour, I think. Remember?
And just like sinking it in.
Like. But before I even took the jump, because at one point I was debating, do I buy the property and then rent for another year and then rent that one out? And I got really, I think that hit me quite hard, because it was such a hit on the cash flow. And it was kind of like, can we do this? Can I really do this? And then to be honest, we could do it. But it was more,
on the safe side.
It was more, yeah. And it was just like my safety nets were kind of like, I don't like touching them.
Yeah.
I'm so protective. Like I said, the foundation, I don't want to ever touch it. I just want to keep kind of building it up. And I got to a point where that really smashed me mentally. And I think Jay could see that. At the time, I had an assistant that we were bringing in, Shafali. She could see that.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much, it was not a good place to be in.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the testing moments, because, you know, everyone around you saying that, like, don't worry, it's going to be fine. And you're like,
yeah.
You
know the reality.
Yeah, you know the reality. And it's like, it wasn't even a case of like, oh, we're going to be out of business tomorrow. It's just like, there's certain things you should do, just really like, you know, really triple check and think that, like, does this fit my situation right now?
And is it the right time?
Yeah, is it the right time? Exactly. Because you can be hesitant and, you know, impulsive. And I'd say I'm fairly impulsive on some aspects.
A lot more.
Yeah. I'm like, Jay, we're building this tomorrow. I'm like, done.
And the next day we're building something else.
Yeah. So like, I decided to pull the trigger. But then I said, you know what? Instead of renting my current place and this, I'm going to buy the place and live in there. And then I want to start a portfolio that way, because now at least I'm paying down a mortgage, or at least like I'm doing that way. And yeah, there's so many, you know, this is a big topic. People will be like, oh, you should just rent and carry on investing and blah, blah, blah. But the take is I weighed up everything. I spent ages weighing this up, speaking to advisors.
I agree with that decision, actually, to buy it at that point.
Yeah.
Because I think it helps out in the cash flow wise, actually.
Yeah. Like it actually, like, And now the strain is like, the setup is very good. Like, as in, I don't feel any pressure, but you own the property. It's great. And I can carry on doing all my other investments the way that they were previously.
And you got a good price for it as well.
Yeah. And exactly. Yeah. To be honest, that's the biggest factor, right? So it was on the market for a certain amount, and we basically, they were just really hesitant. No, not hesitant. They were really eager to push it. And then I saw that as an opportunity, pushed them on the price, and then, we secured it. And now that's home. And it's crazy because I went from a 2-bed to a 1-bed, and that had, you know, like this big kind of thing in my head of like, oh no, like I'm downsizing. And I think that's where you have to remember, like, it's not downsizing. It's a smarter way to go, like, in the sense of like, it made sense, you know, and now it's an asset that we can pretty much leverage against. So my goal now is to carry on. I've got another goal to pick up another property in the next year, and then just carry on, just keep repeating this thing. Yeah.
Talking about properties, that was one of your investments.
Yeah.
And you had crypto, stocks, gold, and then you bought something on your hand as well.
Oh yeah, the Rolex. Yeah. This was
so what just tell everybody a story, like a sudden interest in Rolex, because I don't think you were like a watch fanatic to get a Rolex.
So I'll be honest, it was two things. One, I'm always scanning for a way to find a good asset, right? Like that I can just, again, it goes back to that foundation. It's just protecting yourself in some way, shape or form. And I've been in crypto for a long time, and I was like, you know, at one point the crypto was doing pretty well. It's a roller coaster of emotions, I think, but you can't be emotional with it, right? I was like, we're up. And I feel just like, you know, like I've been surrounded by a lot of people in Dubai who are pretty successful, a lot of friends, a lot of people that I've come to like learn from, including you, Jay.
I'm pampered.
And one of the things was, I just noticed like, everyone's wearing like these watches, right? I was like, I don't get the hype with it. The more I started speaking to people, I actually looked into the actual like behind the scenes. And there's a few reasons why they're actually damn good investments. They did better, you know, over the years than like even the S&P 500. Watch it, the Rolex market beat it, right? And a few other reasons like that. And plus, it's like, it's cool to have certain money in crypto, like, but like at least I can wear the thing. I'll be honest, it was one of those things. And Dubai is a place where, as much as I don't like to think like this, it's a conversation starter in certain situations. For example, I bought this, then you have to go to get insured. You got to get the certificate to
valuation certificate.
And from that, I met a watch dealer called Khalid at Timepiece, and now I'm getting invited to this event where there's all these other watch enthusiasts.
Oh, nice!
And these are people they're in business, they're in this stuff. It's a way to get into a certain conversation, right? And that is a good like
networking.
Yeah, it's like a way to network in, and plus it's like a different environment. You know, like we're always surrounded by our sort of comfort zone. This put me out, and now if I go to one of these events, it's like cool. Yeah, I'm gonna meet some new people here. Probably gonna be a smaller fish in a bigger pond with those guys. But then again, it comes back to surrounding yourself with the people you kind of want to grow to. And if they're doing certain business at a certain level or growing to a certain level, and looking at like even when I met Mo Vlogs, like through like, which was a pretty cool moment. Like I met him through some YouTuber event. I was surrounded by YouTubers. I'm like, they're like, oh, you got a channel? I was like, yeah, I've got a channel, you know. And then, bro, I remember looking at their channels, and everyone's got like millions.
Yeah, more bloggers.
Yeah, he's got crazy
Yeah, he's
amount.
got
But
crazy.
so I just like, I was saying to him, hey, what's up? But like a few other people, and a lot of them were like Arab influencers.
But you said Mo Vlog was so chill.
He was chill. Yeah, he was a really nice guy. Very chilled out, very down to earth. I think he kind of dyed his beard and hair, so it was super. At first, I didn't recognize him. I was like, I don't remember. I don't know who this guy is. And then I saw he was walking in with his sister and his mom, and then I put it all together. I was like, oh my god, that's Vlogs. And but it's a chill guy, man. Really, really nice, cool, down to earth. But when you're surrounded by that, like, and they're so calm and relaxed people, and they're very supportive. Like the first thing they did, go on my YouTube channel, subscribe. I was like, that's actually pretty cool, you know, like someone with millions of followers. And I think that is what I kind of chase now, in the sense of
the groundedness,
but just finding yourself in these circles of people who are doing exactly what you're trying to do, but they've gone to a big level, surrounding yourself with it and normalizing that. So that way you're not looking at these things like they're, you know, unreachable targets. Instead, now you're looking at like, here's what they did when they hit a sort of, you know, a stopping barrier, and here's what I'm going to now do to overcome what we're facing. Yeah. And then before you know it, I'm finding myself doing things like you're picking up properties, you're doing this, and you're becoming more secure, you're making smarter decisions. You've also got people to bounce ideas off. So before I was, you know, when I first moved to Dubai, I was very hectic. I was like spending a lot of money. Now I would go to a lot of these people and say, is this smart what I'm about to do? And then they'll be like, no, that's dumb. Don't do that, you know? Like, and then they'll be like, why didn't you put your money there?
Yeah.
It opens up convos like that.
It's just a learning process.
Exactly.
And then you learn from that mistake.
Yeah.
And then you make better mistakes, and then you learn from those.
Yeah, honestly. And that's the whole cycle, right?
It's a cycle.
You're failing at some stuff, you're learning from that, you're carrying on, you're repeating. And so, and even in a lot of the podcasts we listen to, Indie Hackers, great example of this. That podcast is basically revolved around explaining failure until they got to success. So it's like I try and surround myself with people like that, podcasts, books, that kind of thing. And then that's kind of the goal that we move towards.
I have some quick questions for you, actually.
Okay.
No, we usually do these rapid fire rounds.
Let's do it. It's going to be fun. We
did this on the last podcast. We had some rapid fire questions, because everybody always asks me, hey, we want to know more about Sonny, apart from, I know he's an amazing coder and he's amazing, that, but we don't know how he is in like real life, what his personality is like. Yeah. But obviously these are tech related, right?
Cool. Let's do it.
So let's just get to know more about you in the tech side of the world.
Yeah.
Apart from the coding bit.
Cool.
All right. So I have 10 questions, right?
Oh, okay. Challenging.
But you got to answer them the first thought that comes in your mind. You can't think
about it. No stress. And I've not seen these at all.
No, it's not planned. It's not scripted.
Yeah.
This is not scripted. This is literally like on the spot.
Let's
like
do it.
on the spot.
All
right. So the first question. What's your favorite tech gadget or device right now?
I'm a big fan of my loop deck for editing. It's kind of cool. It's like a random little gizmo.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, it's a laptop. Like that M1 Max is just unreal. Yeah. I feel like you think I'm going to say something different.
Yeah.
What was it?
The Whoop thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. I bought a Whoop band recently to track recovery. Yeah. Okay. I guess that is. For me, like my day-to-day use though, definitely it was just my laptop. The thing is that I take it everywhere and it just does everything I need. But yeah, the Whoop's pretty cool.
All right. So second question, what's the most common tech question you get asked by your followers?
Oh, that's hard. Because we get so many questions.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to think.
Oh God, I don't want to say it. Data structure and algorithms. Everyone asks this question. I'm like, God damn, like, do you know the basics of coding first? They try and jump to that. But yeah, that's a common question I get a lot. But really kind of it's always the same template. It's always, I'm at this position.
Yeah.
I have this problem. How can I overcome it? And I try my best to cater an answer towards it. But there's not a dedicated.
I feel DSA and MERN, both of them.
Yeah, but this is like there's a certain bunch of people that do that, and I recognize that approach, and I know it's not that I try and stay away from it. I think that's a very fan-based question where people are asking it, but they don't actually know what it means. And I try and like open up the question of like, okay, so rather than asking what MERN is, do you know what's pretty popular right now? Or do you know like Next.js 30? I focus on the core things that the market is demanding, like Next.js, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I kind of push towards that because that's going to bring, again, the most value. It comes back to that sort of initial thing. So, yeah.
All right. Third question. If you could use only one tech brand for the rest of your life, what would it be? other than Apple?
Oh, I was going to say Apple.
That's why I said other than Apple. I added that in the question.
Oh, okay. Other than Apple. Oh my God, everything's Apple. That's what I think about.
That's what I'm just thinking. Everything is Apple.
Oh God. Are there any other tech brand?
Yeah.
Any other tech brand? Oh my God. Because in my head I'm like, LG's great panels for TVs, that kind of stuff.
You could say it.
It depends on like what you're doing. Any other tech brand? I don't know. That's a hard one. What would you pick?
I'd say the Rode mics.
You know what? It's weird you said that. I had that in my mind. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess
I like it, man.
Rode is good.
Or even Sony, just for the cameras.
Yeah. You know, he had read my mind. I had those two in my head.
Yeah.
I had like the stuff that we use, like Sony, the A7S, killer camera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the one that's being used right now.
Yeah. So these cameras are pretty much Sony. So Sony, Rode, the kind of production stuff.
Yeah. All right. Fourth question was this was the third one. I mean, we lost count.
Yeah.
I have no idea. All right. So, what was the first tech gadget you ever owned?
I don't even know. No, I don't know.
You don't remember your first iPhone?
Yeah, but I feel like I had, for some reason, a Star Wars lightsaber in my head. Some gadget. I was like,
works.
Yeah.
Goddamn amazing.
I was that guy. Yeah, I love that stuff. So, if you don't know, I'm a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, Sonny's a massive Star Wars fan.
Star Wars, that kind of stuff. Yeah, like probably like the intro, the geeky vibe.
The new games coming out as well.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
All right. What's the most underrated tech gadget out there that you feel is really underrated?
Underrated tech gadget?
Yeah. Underrated.
Weirdly, ND filters. Honestly, because people don't use them on the cameras, and you look at the footage, it's blown out.
So what does an ND filter do?
ND filters are basically like when you're recording any footage, a lot of the time, if you face it towards like an outdoor scene with a lot of lighting, it blows out the background naturally because there's so much light coming into that sensor that you would have to either shut your aperture in one direction. I can't remember. No, I'm not great. I'm still learning this stuff, but you basically have to like shut it, and then you lose your depth, like that blur in the background effect. And it just doesn't look that great. You want to keep that nice blur, but still have all your highlights and everything. So ND filters are basically, they reduce the amount of light coming in the sensor. And then, you basically go in front of the camera and just kind of turn. But they're like underrated. Like anyone who's in the camera game, I always like kind of see the camera, and a lot of people just don't use them. And I'm like, but you're shooting in places like Dubai. Like, how are you getting good shots without an ND filter? So yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's good to know. All right. What's your favorite tech-related book or podcast? I think we know.
Indie Hackers. Yeah, by far. Podcast is amazing. Like I remember in commute to London, that was my game changer thing.
All right. So what's the tech skill do you wish more people knew how to do?
Self-learn. Honestly, and I know it sounds like a cop-out, but self-learn in the sense where I always get it, where even in a coaching call recently, someone said to me, how do I, and it was funny enough related to man, right? Like, how do you do this? And I was like, look, in the end of the day, like, I just showed them on screen. I was like, it takes 2 seconds to just Google what we did.
Yeah.
The whole point is that you don't always need my resources or someone else or someone. Use everything. You've got the internet, you've got YouTube, you've got all this stuff at your disposal. Use it all and start getting good at how you learn as an individual, because that's going to be an absolute game changer in the sense where I might, find the way that you learn best. Right? I learn best through literally playing with a bit of new tech. So if we get a new sponsor or something like that, I'm literally just diving in, building it doesn't even have to have a purpose. I'm just building an app that just does some random specific task. And then I'll find enjoyment in that, and then I'll learn from that, and then I'll use that what I've learned and build something more practical, useful. So self-learning is honestly golden skill.
Okay, that's good to know. That could be a real. All right. So, what's the biggest tech-related mistake you have made?
Biggest
mistake, just generally,
biggest mistake I've made in the tech world.
Probably some bad code pushes or something.
Yeah, I've done that. I've sort of, in the beginning, I committed a bunch of stuff that I shouldn't have committed. And then you're like, how the hell do I undo it, right? I even made it real about it. Because in the beginning, if you're not supposed to push certain things, like your keys. Yeah. And in the beginning, we were doing YouTube, and I didn't. Yeah. I was like, obviously, in the end of the day, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. And one of those learning things was I pushed secret keys that you shouldn't push to something called GitHub where your code lives.
Yeah.
I pushed that public, and then we had a huge usage on one of the services we were doing, and that was not great. That was not great. And I had to quickly realize, okay, this is not good. And the problem is that video went up. So in the future videos, I've really made an emphasis to be like, do not do this because
But the live streaming is hard because you even debug live.
Yeah.
Which people don't realize how hard
tricky.
it is.
It's very tricky.
And you have to keep your composure.
Yeah,
you have
definitely.
To keep going.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's really tricky.
Yeah. All right. So what's the biggest tech trend you see in the next coming 5 years?
Biggest tech trend, I would say, depends what we're talking about, really. Because there's stuff like, there's things like...
AI.
Yeah, AI. So I think we're going through a revolution right now.
Yeah.
Where we've basically got, honestly, so much potential in the tech space. To go ahead and sort of, new ideas. A lot of people are scared about jobs that they might lose. Yeah. Stop doing that and instead focus on like quality like new skills that you can go ahead and learn, like high value skills that are opening up. Example, ChatGPT is this thing that everyone's afraid of is going to take their job. Rather than being scared of it, think about how you can start writing amazing prompts, because prompt engineering will become a job. Right? Like the way you give the input into ChatGPT is how it gives you the output. And a lot of these new SaaS or, AI sort of, loads of businesses have started from it. All they're doing behind the scenes a lot of the time is providing amazing prompts, but covering it with some nice UI, UX kind of stuff. So it's like, oh my God, this is a new AI service that does this, and behind the hood, it's just using GPT.
Yeah.
Right? So and that's all based on input. So a mixture of things, and then learning how you can harness different things like DALL-E 2, GPT, or these mid-journey, and pulling them all together for actual real-world use cases. So find a problem in the world, solve it with the new stuff. And that's going to be, I think, a great way to capitalize on the trends that are happening right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the end of the rapid fire, actually.
Yeah, that's it.
I'd say you did pretty well.
Oh, thank you, man. I try. Yeah. I think one of the biggest things that, but like, we're going to wrap up in about 10 minutes. Yeah. So one of the biggest things I kind of want to bring on is mainly like, this is great because it gives us a chance to really kind of showcase what the reality is behind the scenes, right? And there's just two normal people. And that's something that I always find when you look at something like a bigger picture situation, or you see somebody you admire, like someone with millions of followers or something, you just assume they're perfect. Yeah. They didn't make mistakes. They didn't fail. They didn't do anything. And that's something I just want to pop a little bit and just show that, it's normal people. Like we make mistakes all the time. We're always kind of learning and adapting on the fly. And there's a lot of fun that comes with that.
There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of ups. There's a lot of downs.
Lots of downs.
Lots of downs.
And that's what I think. I think it was I listened to one of Alex Hormozi's podcasts recently. Yeah. And it was a marathon mindset, right? And it's like, if you just focus on the end goal in the beginning, you're not going to make it to the end goal, right? So think about it when we started off, right? If we just said, let's just say we went the 200,000 route, right? Obviously, million is our subscriber goal. And obviously, we have 10 million after that. Yeah. But say we had that in the beginning, you got all this motivation in the beginning, like, oh my God, this is exciting, it's great. And then you hit mile 4 of like 26, right? And that's the million goal. And then you're like, okay, I'm kind of tired now, and motivation's dying. Yeah. And no one's watching that middle stint. That's where it counts. No one's clapping, no one's tapping you on the back saying, oh, keep going. When you're in that middle grind, that's where you have to find a way to graft it out. And that's where there's moments where it gets really tough. That's where, even and it could be any industry you're in. Yeah. That's where you have to dig deep and find a way to anchor yourself in. Yeah. For me, it was always like based around my mom. It was always providing my mom. And one of the biggest things that we were able to do recently, which was actually like probably my biggest achievement yet, was pretty much a life-changing surgery for my mom. So her hip was going. It was basically given a hip surgery, completely replaced. And I remember seeing her in a position where she couldn't walk, and she'd come visit me in Dubai. And it was the most horrible thing ever, seeing somebody that's sacrificed everything for you. Yeah. And you can't fix something for them. And that, like, in the beginning, and I saw the deterioration. It wasn't like an instant thing. So that's why I'm saying it went back quite a while. Yeah. And I knew in my head, I'm like, no, this is not going to happen. Like there is no ifs or buts. That's something I will fix. Yeah. And that for me, like, you have to have purpose. Like, if you don't have purpose, what is the point of what you're doing? True. Right? There was the point of your life. Like, not in the deep. I know it sounds very deep, but you need to have a golden purpose. Like, you have a kid now. Like, and as a dad, has that opened up any different purpose in your life?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like, just raising your kid is your biggest purpose now. Like, raising him the best way possible that you can. And I think any other dads out there would agree, like, their biggest achievement would be raising their kid the way they want it, and the kids making them proud.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So even you as a son, you'd feel proud helping your mother.
Yeah.
Through that when you can, and
Powerful.
you'd be so grateful, and your mom would be so grateful about it. And it's not even the point that she's grateful about it; it's just that you could do it for her.
Yeah, and then you do it unconditionally as well. Like that's
unconditional love. Yeah,
it's like a no-brainer. Like that's just what you should be doing in my eyes. You know, like somebody sacrifices it all for you, and like it's a good example where it's like the kid and the parent. It's powerful, man. And whether or not it's that, whether or not it's you're going through some hard stuff, breakup, anything it is. Try and find a way to just take that energy and just like push it and direct it into something, into something that can work. Because the worst thing you do is sit there and just cry, like, or just complain, like too much entitlement. Just forget that. Make it work for you. Yeah. That's it. Period.
And learn from that trauma that you have in your life.
Yeah.
And like grow stronger from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's the best way of this. In my opinion, that's the best therapy to anything. Yeah. Yeah. Like the worst thing, I know, obviously, I'm not like, condoning anything of these things, like, speaking to someone. I agree with that. I've done a lot of that.
It helps some people.
It helps a lot of people. Yeah. But the best thing you can do is find like, channel your energy into something, whether it's like being a parent, whether it's anything else, and literally just having something to show for it at the end. Yeah. That's your golden ticket to fixing a bad problem, So it's been a wild ride, but we've made it this far. It's been pretty awesome, man.
It's gonna go up and up.
Yeah. So I think on that note, it's been a pretty amazing sort of experience. I think we'll definitely be doing this a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know if you guys like stuff like this.
Literally, let us know if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. And if you're watching it on any other platforms, make sure you hit the follow button. I hope you enjoyed seeing me and Jay in this kind of setting. It's pretty cool. And as always, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and like the content. Yeah, we're hitting I think last month we hit about 50 or 60 million watch minutes, which was insane. So we absolutely love and appreciate all of you.
And let us even know what topics you would like us to talk about. What more do you want to know about Sonny?
Yeah, literally, it could be me, it could be the business world, could be the business programming, world, anything. But just break it down. Like we're completely open to ideas. So team@papareact.com. Email us and check out our website, papareact.com, if you want to check out any of our courses. And as always on YouTube, Sonny Sanga. So all links are in the description anyway. Yeah. So hope you enjoyed it. This has been The Reactive Entrepreneur. I'm Sonny, and this has been...
I messed it up.
It's okay.
I'm just trying to figure out which camera to look at. Because you're looking at yours. I think you're supposed to look at the middle one.
I love it this way.
Let's do it again.
Yeah. But Jay, it's been fun anyway. And as always, you guys get to see me and Jay on the stream, so it's pretty cool. But we'll see you in the next one. Peace.